Hello friends, welcome to Mechanical Engineering online classes.
Free body diagram, in short FBD. Free body diagram is a sketch of an object that is of interest, showing all the active and reactive forces that are acting upon it. So FBD is a diagram that shows all the push and pull forces. For example, there is an object like this. If it has got a weight force, FBD of this object can be simply drawn as having a gravitational pull on it, and this support surface is replaced by a normal reaction, normal to this particular surface. The surface was like this, the point of contact is somewhere here. So here at this point of contact there will be a normal reaction from the surface. So that normal reaction is shown here. So this is an FBD of the object on a horizontal plane. So because FBD shows all the different forces that are acting on an object, which can be an entire system or an assembly part of it, or just a point in an assembly. So this is also sometimes called as force diagram. So it is drawn by showing all the active and reactive forces acting on the object by removing all the supports that are there, but considering the geometrical angles and distances. Geometrical angle and distance means, in the previous example, the weight force is shown as acting vertically downward. Weight forces are always acting vertically downward because this weight force is actually the gravitational pull. Earth's gravitational force is pulling this particular object towards Earth's center. So for example, if this is an object placed on Earth, there is a gravitational force of attraction between the two. So the attraction will be a pull towards the center of Earth. So when we are placing or checking different object on the surface of Earth, all these will have weights. Any object with a mass will be pulled towards the Earth gravitational force towards the center of Earth. So because the radius of Earth is too very high compared to the dimensions of the objects placed on the Earth, we consider that all these lines, all these force lines of infinite radius, compared to this radius, the Earth's radius is infinite. It's too very high. What we mean by that is, this small r, the radius or the dimension of this object on Earth, is negligible. So by the definition of parallel lines, we know that parallel lines are those lines which meet at infinity. So compared to these particular dimensions, suppose this is, say, small h, this is capital R, the radius of Earth. Capital R is too very high compared to h. H is almost negligible, and R is almost infinity when compared to h. So here, when we want to show these objects, we can show them all on a horizontal plane, and all these objects can be considered to be having weight forces acting vertically down. Though they are actually acting towards the center of Earth, they are all converging at Earth's center, but because the radius of Earth is almost infinity, by the definition of parallel lines, we know that those they meet at infinity are the parallel lines. So because these are meeting at infinity, whose distance is equal to radius of Earth, they can be considered to be acting vertically downward. So all these vertically downward forces are parallel to each other. So this is what active and reactive forces. So the active force is, the weight force is also an active force. Reactive force means every object will have some supports on it. Now for example, in this particular object, the object is kept on a table, say, So the table is supporting the object. So this table is removed, and because the table is having a normal reaction acting on the object, we are replacing this table by a normal reaction force, which is N. And this normal reaction, as the name suggests, normal means perpendicular to the contact. Now for example, there is an object like this placed on ground. So perpendicular to this ground, there will be a normal reaction. If the object is kept on an inclined plane, if at all I want to remove this inclined plane, then I will draw the object at the same angle as that of the inclined plane, but the normal reaction will be again perpendicular to this inclined plane. So here the normal is this. So normal means perpendicular. So here is what it is. FBD will show all the active and reactive forces. Active forces means all the external forces that are acting on the object, all the applied forces, couples, moments, everything, including the weight of the object, because the weight of the object is a pull on the object. And the reactive forces are the reactions from the supports. We are replacing the supports by their reactive forces. The most important point here is that with consideration of the geometrical angles and the directions and distance known, what we mean by this is, just now we have considered an example of an object kept on an inclined plane. If the inclined plane is say at 30 degree inclination, so suppose there is a force P acting at say 60 degrees from vertical onto this object. If we want to draw the FBD of this object, don't tilt your object like this and don't simply write the N, W and all other things. The FBD should have all the details as they are. The only thing here is that we are removing all the supports. Our interest is to analyze the object, the force system on the object. We will keep the object as it is. It was inclined here, it will be inclined here also. And we will consider the weight force, it will be always vertically down. Now don't, because the object, when the object was like this, weight is like this. So when object becomes like this, the weight will not be like this. Weight is always vertically downward. And the normal reaction is always normal, perpendicular to the contact surface. The contact surface is this. Perpendicular to it will be this. This is the normal reaction. And P was at this particular point, and P is here. And it is making 60 with respect to vertical. This is 30 with respect to horizontal. So drawing FBD of an object this way will be entirely different from drawing an FBD like this. In this particular case, our normal reaction and weight forces got balanced. If at all you are drawing the object as kept on a horizontal plane, then the normal reaction is vertically upward, weight is vertically downward, P is as it is. Whereas this is not actually talking about the original case. The original actual case is this. What is the actual case? The normal reaction is here, the weight is here. So in this particular assumption of taking the object horizontal, your normal reaction and weight are parallel to each other and passing through each other. But actually they are passing through the center of gravity of the object, there is no doubt in it, but they are not parallel to each other. Here the angle between N and W is 180, or I can say it is 0, they are passing through each other, but here it is different. So the case changes, the question changes, so the effect is changing. So it's always very, very important that with due consideration of all the details, if the P is acting at 60 from vertical, you have to make a note that the P is in your FBD is also acting at that point and 60 degree from vertical. If there is an inclined plane, normal reaction is normal to the inclined plane. It is not parallel and along the line of action of the weight force. So this is the very, very important point. Before we learn the procedure of how to draw an FBD, let us look into few basic forces that we will have to have a good idea on before we proceed to drawing an FBD. So weight force, it always acts vertically downward. A normal reaction, as already said, it will be perpendicular to the contact surface. If the contact surface is inclined, then the normal reaction is perpendicular to that inclined plane. And the frictional force, it always acts parallel to the contact surface. The fourth force is tension, which is a pulling force. So this tension always acts in the direction of the rope and away from the object of interest. So if our FBD is of a block, and if it is attached to a rope or a string or cord, cable, wire, thread, chain, any of these, because of these entities, there will be a pulling force on the object. So when we draw an object, we have to replace the tension force acting away from the object, because that will be a pulling force on the object. So these are the basic forces that we need to understand before knowing how to draw an FBD. So now let us look into the procedure. The first thing is we have to draw a neat sketch of the object, assuming that all the supports are removed. But we have to remove the support only by replacing the support reaction. So we can draw an FBD of an entire system as a unit, single unit, or we can choose a part of entire system, or it could be just one point. If at all a mechanism has got so many links, they are joined at different points, so we can draw the FBD of that single point also. So FBD of an entire system or a part of it or a point in it also can be drawn. So all the relevant dimensions, angles and directions. Now for example, if mass M is hanging from point B that is supported at two ends, say A and C, with the help of a thread as shown here, then we can draw the FBD, or we can actually see all the forces acting at a particular point, say B here. So if point B is this, because this is all threads, there will be tension experienced by the thread. So as we have already seen, because thread is a pull force, the tension will be away from the object. So our object of interest here is a point B, this particular point, all the forces that are acting at that point. Now from point B there is a mass M that is acting vertically downward, so force is mg, weight force is mg, and because there is a thread along BC and along AB, the tension will be along the thread and away from the thread. So TAB will be parallel to AB, away from B, because B is the point of interest to us. And let TBC be the tension in BC thread. So this also will be parallel to the BC and away from point B, because point B is the object of interest to us. So at point B, these are the three forces acting, and we have to be very careful with how we are drawing the forces. Because BC is making angle theta with respect to horizontal, our TBC will be also at the same angle theta with respect to horizontal. Because it is mass M, the weight force will be always vertically downward, and this TAB is exactly parallel to AB thread. So this is the FBD of point B, where this is the actual system. So we should show all the active forces on the corresponding point of application, and we should also insert their magnitude and direction if we know them. For example, here in this case, if we know the value of M, suppose M is say 50 kilogram. So this will be 50 kilogram into 9.81 meter per second square. So we have to find this and we have to write that particular value here. And if TAB and TBC are known, we have to put those values here. If it is unknown, then we will just leave it as a name, but we have to put all that we know exactly. We know exactly that they are away from point B, so the direction must be as they should be, and because TBC is at theta from horizontal, that theta should be as it is. If this theta is say 22 degree, so here also we must be taking only 22 degrees. So all the data that are known to us must be kept as it is in case we know them. All the reaction forces also should be given according to in what direction it could be. Like if it is a normal reaction, we exactly know it is towards the object and perpendicular to the contact surface. So while replacing the supports also, we have to give the support reactions in the correct direction. In case we do not know the direction of that reaction, then we may assume. Everything that comes in touch with the object of interest is a support and it needs to be addressed. So in case the direction of the reactive force is not known, we have to assume it, and assuming that direction, if we solve with the sigma fx and sigma fy, once the solution is out, if our assumption of direction of that particular unknown reaction force is correct, then the answer will be in positive sense. If at all our assumption was wrong, then that comes out to be a negative value. And whenever possible, we have to use a principle of transmissibility that will ease our job of analysis to a larger extent. So for example, this blue color inclined line is a ladder which is resting with the supports of a wall and the horizontal floor. So if you want to draw the FBD of this ladder, say whose weight is W, then we must be knowing either of these angles. So in case I know theta, then the FBD can be drawn as this is theta. So the weight of the ladder always acts vertically downward, no matter how the object is, the weight is this, and this ladder is in touch with the wall at point A. So the surface contact is like this, the ladder is like this. Now when we are replacing this surface, the contact surface, the normal reaction will be perpendicular to that contact surface and towards the object. So we are replacing, because the wall is vertical, the reaction, the normal reaction will be horizontal. So let that normal reaction at point A be RA. So the direction is towards the object and it is perpendicular to the vertical wall. So RA is replacing the support at A. Now again, this particular ladder is also taking support at B. It is in touch with the horizontal floor at point B. Now because the floor is horizontal, the contact surface, the normal reaction will be towards the object of interest and perpendicular to the contact surface. Because the contact surface is horizontal, the normal reaction will be vertical. So the direction is vertically upward towards the object of interest, and let this reaction be RB. So therefore FBD will be this RA horizontal and rightward. Vertical force is acting at the center of gravity of the ladder, and RB is the normal reaction at point P when this is at theta. So this is FBD of ladder. So this is one very basic example. The other interesting example is in a channel, say two cylinders are lying like this. So this is a channel, this one is the channel, they are in the channel, and the cylinder A is having say weight WA and cylinder B is having weight WB. So cylinder A is coming in touch with the channel and the other cylinder at 3 points. Point 1 with the vertical wall, point 2 with the horizontal, and somewhere here with the other cylinder. Now similarly this cylinder B is in touch at 2 points, one at point 3 the other at this particular point. Let this particular point be, say, point number 4, the point of contact between the two cylinders. Now we can draw the overall FBD of both the cylinders taken together, or we can draw separate FBDs also. So now let us try to draw the overall FBD. Now before we start drawing the free body diagrams of both the cylinders together, we should know their location exactly, how they are relatively located to each other. So this particular cylinder A I can randomly draw like this, but where is this cylinder B coming? Drawing cylinder B here will be different from drawing cylinder B here to drawing it somewhere here or somewhere here, because depending on these things, because this particular B is in touch with the wall somewhere at point 3, and not just that, they are in touch at a particular angle with respect to horizontal. If at all I want to draw the common normal to both of them, this is the common tangent. So their radii R1 plus R2 are exactly at an angle with respect to horizontal. So I have to take care of that, because this is the first and foremost important point, that all the dimensions, all the angles and all the directions must be properly taken care of. So here I have to take care of this theta. So accordingly, once I draw this cylinder A, then I will draw a horizontal, draw a line theta, extend it along R1. I will measure R2, find the center, then with using this center and this radius I will be drawing circle B. Now once we are done with drawing the circles, now we have to show the weight force of cylinder A, which is WA vertically downward. Similarly, weight force of cylinder B, that is WB. Now we are replacing all other supports. The support, there is a support vertical wall, and our cylinder A is coming in touch with the support wall at point 1. So when we are removing that support, somewhere at the exact, we have to find the exact location. The exact location will be at R1 distance from the horizontal. So this will be R1. So the exact point of application of the support reaction must be drawn. We cannot randomly draw a horizontal force, because it is a vertical wall. The normal reaction will be a horizontal reaction perpendicular to the vertical wall. So this, I cannot draw this horizontal just anywhere here or here. I have to exactly draw them at the point of application, because it is cylinder. The wall is like this. This particular location and this particular location, if I extend, they meet at the center. So this point will be at a height equal to the radius of circle, and this point is also at a distance of equal to radius of that circle. So this is the point of application exactly. So there is a reaction from the wall. Let that be, because it is at point 1, I am naming it as R1. The normal reaction will be towards the object, so R1 is rightward, R1 is done. Now what about point 2? In a similar fashion, like how we have mentioned R1, we must be mentioning for R2 also. So here R1 came at this particular location, so R2 will be here. The circle is coming in touch at this particular point. This is the point of contact. So this particular line of application of forces, the reactive forces, because they are towards the reactions onto the circular profile, so they will be radial to the object, means these reactive forces will be passing through the center. So if at all we are drawing a tangent like this, the normal reaction will be towards the center. So here also this is the tangent. So normal reaction will be perpendicular to it, which will be normal. So perpendicular to this radial line will be touching the center. It will be passing through the center of the circle. So the line of application of force is known here also. WA will be passing through the center, and RA also will be passing through center. So here will be our R2, reaction from point 2 towards the center of the circle. Now similarly, there is a point of contact for cylinder B at point 3. So here also we must exactly know where point 3 is coming on the circle. Point 3 is coming here on the circle, then this will be the tangent, and the normal reaction will be perpendicular to it and towards the center of the circle. So this is R3. So this is the FBD of both the cylinders taken as a unit. If we want, we can draw FBD of each cylinder separately. The only change that comes here is, so this is for FBD of cylinder A and this is for FBD of cylinder B. So the difference here comes that when we are drawing FBD of A was in touch with B at say this particular point 4. So this particular point 4 is the point of contact of A and B. So which is this. We are replacing B with a reaction from cylinder B. So let that be R4. So we have removed every support. The vertical wall is removed, the horizontal floor is removed, and the cylinder is also removed. Cylinder A is in touch with cylinder B and the walls at these two places, these three places, locations 1, 2 and 4. So this is the FBD of A. Similarly, B was in touch with the surroundings at two locations. One is this point 3 and the other is this particular point, which is 4. So where cylinder A was in touch with it. So R4 will be this one. So this is the FBD of B, this is the FBD of A, and this is the overall FBD, combined FBD for the two cylinders.
Thanks for watching. If this video was of help to you, please like it and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.